Hey guys, welcome to my Chilla's Art triple feature. I'm going to be playing 3 of my favorite games from this dev. They've kind of blown up all over the place. You've likely seen bigger content creators play them, but in the spirit of the season, I wanted to give my 3 favorites a go. So, and I will be turning off, I did just mention this in stream beforehand, I will be turning off the camera effect and turning the brightness up when I can on certain games. Aha, yes. Just because I need to be able to see. So, again, a lot of people have played these games. And yes, the film grain does add a bit to it, but it also does make it harder for me to see. And I need to be able to do that to progress in a timely manner. So as I spoke about before, okay, this makes sense in the context of they just moved here. So a lot of their games are kind of, this is kind of hard to distinguish. Like some people would say that they're very walking sim-esque, and it's so hard to tell what a walking sim is nowadays. Yeah, they definitely go for like the PS1 retro vibe. One of these is my house. I just played this yesterday. You can probably hear me furiously clicking. These damn stupid crows. Wait, I think. Yes, here we go. Here's my house. So since this is one of their first ones, they have more of like a I guess distinguished pointer now. A yellow one, you'll see it in later entries. But since this was like one of, like, since they were still kind of, you know, getting used to things, you'll just see a faint E over interact. Let me see if I can turn the volume up a little bit for OBS. It might drown me out a bit, but they are very reliant on atmosphere, and the atmosphere is very good. And I'll talk more about their technique later, because, again, very atmospheric experience.
Tadaima.
Right, I forgot I can't click on the door. Alright, well. And we have no sprint. This is our normal speed.
Kagami yo kagami, 世界で一番美しいのは誰? なんてね。
Excuse me.
Eh? お母さん?
We kind of clomp.
気のせいかな?
Sometimes it's hard to tell what's us and what is atmospheric noises meant to spoop. So our tatami room.
ん猫ちゃん
An invisible stray cat. Again, I'm sorry for the clicky keyboard if it's audible.
Lastテレビ見たのいつだっけそういえば最近お母さん元気ないな
So I'm guessing that's a picture of Mom rather than a picture of us? Oh, I want one of those donuts. That just sounds really good right about now. Break the immersion a little bit. Ah.
早く物を片付けなきゃな
Well, your mom should help you. That's a lot to do. Making sure I've left. They're probably stale by now. I know. They've been sitting out all day. Okay, this game is very particular and you kind of have to trigger the right amount of things. Probably missed an E somewhere. Skipa. Alright, time for us to clomp back downstairs. I missed something in here. I had a feeling I did. This game is very heavy on audio cues for when you've done everything. I remember the TV and the picture and the boxes. And the cat. Well, supposedly our mom has been home. That door is obviously locked. Pretty good. How about yourself? Just clumping around our Japanese house, trying to find our mom. Ah, here we go.
起こしてからもう一瞬間経つのか 暗くなったな。
Just suddenly. You're not fazed by this at all. The door slams shut behind you. You heard a giant banging noise. Alright. Now I can start investigating. Okay, so the ultimate goal is to get into here. We don't have the code yet. Oh, all clocks are at 12. Here we go. I heard those footsteps. Kettle, toilet, tatami, storage, my room. This would be the kettle. 4. Kettle, storage, tatami, toilet, my room. Okay, no, that's her room. Oh. And this is one thing Chilla's art is actually very good at, is subtle scares like that. Just very subtle things. Essentially in all of their games. The toilet is 2, 4 something 2. Oh. Alright. Can I still have that donut though? So you just crunch. Alright. Now we have to navigate around this upside down furniture. Ah, storage. Maybe. Okay. 4, 7, 2. Okay. Tommy's okay. All right. 4, 7, 2, 9. Ah, that's what that was. Okay. 4, 7, 2, 9, 7. Oh, wrong room. 4, 7, 2, 9, 7. Oh, the bloody thing was actually back in her room, but you know, we're stuck on shuffle mode. Okay. 4. 2. It's very finicky. 9. here. This is meant to be 7. Nope. My short-term memory is bollocks. Kettle is 4, toilet, tatami, storage, my room. Okay. Kettle, toilet, tatami, storage, my room. We're gonna do it in order. Oh my god. Did not get nearly as lost when I was playing this yesterday. Kettle is 4. Yeah, 4. So I have that right. Toilet, tatami, storage. Four, 2. Four, 2, 7. No, tatami storage. 4, 2, 9, 7, 9? There's 2 9s. I apologize. Maybe it's 799. Ah, okay. I literally cannot. Okay. We're gonna circumvent this because, again, my short-term memory is bollocks. So I'm literally gonna do the old school gamer thing and write it down. So kettle is 4. 4. My desk mat is wonderful, but not wonderful for writing things on. Toilet, tatami, storage. Bleh. That's 9. Okay. That's 2. Oh, good lord, you have to get right up on it. Okay. 7, and then tatami was 9. Okay. 42979. Don't know why I'm struggle busting so much. The game should literally be over right about now. It's only about like a 15 to 20 minute experience. Four, two. My room. 7. Oh, good job. I have a weird tendency for mixing up 9 and 7. Will you... I was convinced it was 9. Should have double checked. There we go.
え、これって借金ってこと？
Okay, so we're in debt. I'm sorry. Thank you for not backseating, though. Oh. So we can assume that her mom hung herself due to debt. 4 hours later. Oh my god. Alo. So, like I was saying, as you can tell, CHILLA'S art is very big on atmosphere, and they are good at subtle scares. One thing that they're not terribly good at, and you're going to see this more prominently in... Those aren't my footsteps. In the next couple of games are jump scares. They are fans of both, and their subtle scares are great. Their jump scares, not so much. They work on me because I'm easily jump scared, but that doesn't mean that they're good. Well. And that is Okairi. I like it because it's a short, immersive, very atmosphere heavy, subtle scare, sound heavy. Sound cues are always good in a horror game. Sound in a horror game is very important. It's a very tight experience. And if you want to play any of these with the video filter on, I would definitely encourage you pick them up, because again, from Okairi onwards, the prices are beneath $5. They're usually $2 to $3.99. Their most expensive is Akamanto. So, okay, we're going to get rid of Okairi. We're going to move on to the next one, which was made in the same year. Both of these are made in 2019. And I like this one very much as well. We're essentially playing all of my favorites. Takes a minute to load up in Unity. I believe all of their games are made in Unity, which isn't too hard. But yeah, if you like that aesthetic, I mean, that's pretty much their aesthetic. They carry it over. It's very reminiscent of PS1 style. They have a camera grain on pretty much everything. A lot of games have 2 endings. Okairi did not, but like Stigmatized Property does. Convenience Store does. Missing Children does. Ghost Train does. And this is where they start to charge you less for about an hour's experience, but it's going to be less than that for us here, at least with Stigmatized Property. Actually, Ghost Train doesn't have 2 endings. Well, no, Ghost Train has multiple endings, but there's one good end. Ghost Train actually has 5 or 6 endings, but they're all kind of the same one. You get a choice at the end to like get a hold of somebody, and you can choose, there's like 6 choices, and each one has different dialogue that contributes to the story, which is very interesting, but it does mean that you have to play the whole game over to find those things again. Hello, Maud. Was your errand good? Everything all good? Okay, and as usual... Okay, the brightness is already up, and the film grain is off. It remembers my, my choices. Good. Ah. But first, I was like, wait a minute. I tell it to capture the, thing. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I tell it to capture the window, so I have to go in and tell it individual window for each.
急に家に来いってなんでかな
Alright, so we were suddenly invited to a young man's house. And we're gonna go for the best ending on this one. The bad ending isn't, like, it's not worth playing twice for, I'll say that. And we actually have a run option this time. See, this is the marker I was talking about. Now, instead of like a faint E and just like wandering around smashing your face into things, they actually have a very good thing. So we have 10 yen and no flashlight. Pray in front of the shrine? Yes, we will. Our run is more of a brisk walk. But... yeah, the side streets are kind of winding. That is sadly what you think it is. Yes. Poor thing. I agree. Ambient footsteps. So that's where the smell was coming from. Dead fish.
それも先に家に入っててって言われたけど、あいつバイトでもしてたっけ?
Ah, now that everything is set up, I need to have... Okay, cool. Sorry, I needed to set things up so where my, I could see my mods DMs. $50. That's odd. I see a crumpled paper in one of the slots. It says it costs 100 yen. I need to find some change.
This is grandma's car.
Okay, it's mom's car. Actually, I only prayed at 2 shrines. I missed a shrine. Okay. This is where I started from. I didn't even know it let you go back this far, honestly. I was gonna say I'm waiting for the invisible wall. Aha. Yes. I don't have a guide open or anything. I'm actually doing this all from memory. You cannot bury the cat somewhere. The cat and the fish are just purely story optional things. Yes. I feel slightly warmer. Is it just my imagination? Okay, we're locked into the good end now. Huh. Open. Or, oh no, the curtains are open. Anyway, 104, that's his up there. So let's go. Yeah, if you want the bad end, you just don't pray at the shrines. Knock door, yes. Remember, they are Japanese devs, so the English is sometimes a little, the translation is sometimes a little meh.
すみません.
There really is no one. I can't just wait outside. I need to get in. So, we need to wait outside.
どこに鍵あるって言ってたっけ? あー、忘れちゃった.
Okay. So, while our character thinks...
Ah, 思い出した. 植木鉢の下にあるって言ってたんだった.
Alright. Under a lemon tree pot. They can be guilty of, kind of making you wait a little bit for things. Convenience store, which is good. That's like its biggest sin. Once you know what to do, if you're going for the second ending, it still takes you about an hour to beat just because the game forces you to wait for events to happen, and that's not always a good thing. Alright. Okay, sound's still working, just so you guys know. Now I can click. What's this? I think I see something stuck inside the hole.
え、広っ。すごくいいところじゃん。
Oh no, you can hear your own footsteps inside the apartment. It's just that it drowns out the outside world immediately. Which is, oh, there's the same beach pillow from last game. I actually just noticed that asset reused. But yeah, that's a little weird.
あれ？このノート破れてるけど、どうしたんだろう？探したら見つかるかな？
Okay, our mission is clear because he is not here. And you all heard that, that noise. Use the hook in the hole. And get a piece of paper. April 4th. Moving is over at last, and today marks the first day living alone and also the first day writing a journal. I really look forward to the experience. I've always dreamed of it. I decided to move here because the rent is very cheap. I honestly can't believe that a broke student like me can afford such a nice room. Plus, it's really close to my school. How amazing is that? I ate out with my parents today to celebrate the move, and they were both laughing and just having a great time. They're very likely happy that you're gone. Living alone is great and all, but man, I'm gonna miss those faces. They told me that they're gonna be here only for a couple of days. They kept telling me how worried they are, but they're just overthinking. They don't have to worry about a thing. I'm gonna do just fine. Yep, and suddenly this is open. And as you've already noticed, looking into the mirror, it shows you that the door is closed. Even when it's open. Again, when they want to do really good, subtle, like spooky things, they're very, very good at it. I very much like that about CHILLA'S art. The paper's wet. I need to find a way to dry it. This game actually epitomizes what I was talking about, the kind of silly jump scares and the really good, like, quiet, creepy moments. Yeah, we'll hair dry it. Good as new. April 5th. Today, I took a whole day just setting everything up in the room. What used to be a room with small luggage and a simple bed now became a room with a bunch of furniture and a whopping queen-size bed. The previous tenant left everything, and the owner was too lazy to get rid of them. Dad seemed to like this house so badly, he'd said he'd like to stay a little longer. But as much as I'd appreciate their company, I'd like to live life already. The owner came to say hello today. He looked like he could use a little sleep, though. What was wrong with him? He shook my hand with a big smile on his face, told me how grateful he was for someone to finally rent the room. But how he stopped smiling right when he let my hand go. That was way too weird. Anyways, the new semester starts tomorrow. Gotta get ready. Alright. 5 more pages.
ここから入れそう。
Alright, so we need something to get up from there, and something is over there that wasn't before. Hello, Crow. You have a page. Give it to me. You won't. We must trade the crow. Let's barter with him. And this is where the cat or the fish come in handy. You can either give the dead cat or the fish to the crow. I am not giving a crow a dead cat. I'm giving a crow a fish. So while we walk in the back alleys with a fish in hand. You weren't there before. Thanks for the 10 yen. Hey, I see you. What? What, you want to talk? Fucking rude. Oh, a noose. And 10 yen. Thanks, asshole. Don't know if he's trying to send me a message or not. Alright. Crow. There we go. Huh? Oh. Another 10 yen. We just need more. 10 more. That's not good. Look through the hole? Yeah. And this is really the extent to which you can look. Although the door is open, you can't really tell what's beyond it. Said that weird chanting noise. Alright, let's get out of here. April 6th. Today was the first day of the semester. It's good to see my boys again. They wanted to come see my new apartment, but I don't know. They better not fuck anything up. Mashima-sensei is my homeroom teacher. I wonder what kind of teacher she is. I hope she's not mean like the previous one. That guy was an asshole. Another weird thing happened today. When I got out of the room this morning, some middle-aged ladies across the street gathered and talked bad about this apartment. Women of that age like to gossip a lot. It's probably whatever. He has a lot of stuff for somebody that's like in high school, college. Like a lot of like nice, like IKEA level stuff. Ah, yes, that's true. They did say the previous tenant left it all. Oh, hey. Yeah, knock on the window. Hello? Are you okay? Why is he just standing there? Okay, well, let's go see what his deal is. Cool. Apartment memo. This apartment cannot be demolished. I tried to call a contractor trying to destroy it, but for some reason, the phone line stops working. My mother suddenly becomes ill. I hope it isn't related. The local priest will not come. I tried asking other people to ask the priest. The priest got into an accident and died. Talismans are useless. I bought a box of talismans and stuck them on my walls, but they were all burned the next day. Whenever I put a talisman on a wall, the word... fucking light. The word curse will continue to appear in my head. The apartment does not catch fire. The building repels fire. The apartment must continue to sell. A resident will be chosen every month. The chosen one will be possessed within a week. And after the possession, the person completely disappears from this world and no one remembers a thing about the person. I keep having nightmares, and a strange voice keeps telling me to bring human. I can't sell the apartment. I can't let them hurt my family. Someone, please help me. Alright. I'm gonna take this diary page and get the fuck out. So, fun fact, which you can only find through the Steam cards, that is actually the apartment owner that we saw. Like the owner of the building. April 7th. I said hello to my favorite neighbors today. That's a polite, or my fellow neighbors today. That's a polite thing to do, right? Be nice to your neighbors, right, Mom? But you know what, Mom? I don't think that works here, because I just got the cold shoulders from them. When I said good morning to the neighbor on the right, he just stared at me with his big eyes, and without a word from his mouth, he shut the door on me. Even now, his big cat-like eyes won't leave my head. I shouldn't be too rude. I'll probably give it another go some other time. Anyways, today I saw a girl who just likes the girl in Shikibara 89 in my class. Her name's Mira, and I'd like to get to know her. And from what I heard, she's single, ready to mingle. How lucky. I'm excited for tomorrow. You're a dweeb using single, ready to mingle. Table. Table? Were you pointing out something on the table, like the donuts? The stale donuts? And more stale donuts on the couch? Unrealistic, a landlord would not care about sacrificing people. Yeah, that's pretty true, actually. Oh, back in the shed here? You mean the stool? You can only carry one thing at a time. Yeah. You can only carry one thing at a time in this game. They incorporate inventory into later games, but this one is so short that it's like, meh. Climbing through the window? Yes. No, it's good. You had the right eye. Don't apologize. You had the right eye for it. Means you're getting how to play these. So he has 2 toilets in his apartment. April 8th. Mom came over to my room again. Ugh, I told her she doesn't have to come anymore. I think she had a fight with Dad again. Her passive-aggressive attitude got to me, so I asked her how Dad's doing. She refused to talk about it and instead just sat there quietly. I've never seen her like this before. She would usually put on a fake smile or face after a fight. I would also notice that. But it just wasn't like that this time. An hour or so, she regained her usual positivity when she asked me if I can invite my old-time friend Sayaka. She had the biggest smile when I agreed to it. Mom must be worried for me to live alone still. I only have Mira-chan in mind right now, though. But that smile. Her eyes weren't smiling. So we're either playing Mira or Sayaka. I'm guessing we're playing Sayaka. Ah, hello, sir. Can you help me? No, you were an unnecessary jump scare. Thank you for the end, though. Actually, I usually get a page before this. I'm wondering where the page I missed was. Because I did play this through twice for both endings for the achievements yesterday. Ah, I know exactly where the other piece of paper is. I forget about this one quite frequently. Here we go. So his mom's car has a piece of paper in it. Excuse me. Door's not closed. She does. Maybe someone broke in and moved the mirror. April 9th. I was able to talk to Mira-chan today. What a great day. Except for one thing. Mom was gone when I woke up this morning. Her car was still parked here, and it's odd for her to leave without notice. I hope Dad picked her up or something because the car is still there. I invited Sayaka and she said she'd come tomorrow. I hope this makes her happy again. Okay, so yeah, we're Sayaka. And we have all the yen necessary for our last diary page. Again, when you're playing this through your first time, it takes about an hour. I've played it twice for the endings yesterday, so I know my way around it. There is no escape. I can't read the rest.
あいつには悪いけどもう帰ろう。後で連絡しとけばいいよね。
Yeah, I would have left a long time before this, but yeah, I'm with you. I looked back repeatedly as I felt I was constantly being watched. But no matter how many times I looked, no one was there. I couldn't handle the fear. I walked as fast as I could. He was absent from school the next day. His seat was occupied by someone else. I tried asking his friends and teachers, but none of them knew or even heard of his name. After school, I went to the same apartment. However, the apartment was sold. According to the locals, this place had been on sale for a while. Where did the apartment go? And the boy I knew and loved, where did he go? Was it all my dream? Come to think of it, I don't remember his name either. Wait, who am I even talking about? That is stigmatized property. So the other ending is possessed, and to get it, you just don't pray at all four shrines. It's not as impressive as an ending either. At least in my opinion. You go to leave and the door is locked behind you. You're given the option to look through the peephole and you see these faces. And then like you leave the peephole and there's a jump scare. Like you whirl around and there's like a brah, and there's just like this couple behind you with like dead eyes and scream faces, and it means that you have become possessed like the previous tenants. It's not as effective. I think the real horror is in the true ending. Slowly forgetting somebody that you knew to the point where nobody knows who they are is pretty horrific. Considering it seems like the last, like the epilogue kind of there was, you know, narrated by our main character not too long after she pieced out of the apartment. So it's very, very quick. And we can kind of assume that the mom was possessed as well. Considering that her car was still there. And she came over after she and her husband had gotten into a fight. So, yeah, that's stigmatized property. It's kind of like the epitome of what I mean by like CHILLA'S art excels at, and also what they like to do. They're very good at atmosphere, ambient noises, kind of making you go like, what is that? Like, if you heard there were random footsteps all throughout the time there, it could have been anybody walking down, you know, the streets. Oh, hey, I see you. There's a dude right over here. I actually never noticed him before. I don't know if my mouse pointer is visible or not, but in the far left corner, down the alleyway where I got the key, there's a dude standing there. Hello. Oh, and the guy has his door open. What's up, guys? But like, and they are relying on kind of like those loud like noise jump scares to kind of get you. And I mean, it gets me because I'm susceptible to jump scares, but it didn't really build up the tension for them, or like that screaming woman at the end of the alleyway. But things like looking in the mirror and seeing the door being closed, when it's obviously open behind you, that's very ominous feeling. That's very good. The thing like with the neighbor, like when we were walking up and you get close enough and he slams his door shut and you walk up and there's just a noose lying on the ground. It's fucked up. That kind of subtle stuff is what I really, really, really like. Unfortunately, I will say Convenience Store, again, while it is very effective, relies more on the jump scares and the waiting rather than the subtle scares. But they are all based on some kind of urban legend in Japan or some kind of folklore. There are so many stories about abandoned buildings in Japan, or, you know, apartments like this in Japan. There are so many. One of the games I listed, Inunaki Tunnel, is actually a real place that exists. It is in, I forget the prefecture name, but it's in Fukuoka. And I recognize that because two vloggers I like a lot actually do live in Fukuoka. So I was like, oh god, it actually is a real sealed off tunnel. And it translates to Howling Dog's Tunnel, and there have been some real life brutal murders that have taken place there. There was a guy who was caught by a bunch of delinquents, or like young vagabonds or something like that, and he was captured and he escaped twice. So he was captured 3 times. The third time, from the article that I'd read, the guy was kind of an idiot because they were like, "We're not going to hurt you, man." And even after they'd kind of beaten him up, he still went back. But like essentially they beat the crap out of this guy in front of Inunaki Tunnel, and then in order to try to get rid of the body because they were so freaked out, one of the youths said that they should stop what they were doing. When they realized what a mistake they made, they poured gasoline on him and lit him on fire. All 3 were caught and all 3 are serving time. But that's not the only crime that's been committed there, but it is a recent one. It's messed up. So there are a lot of legends about like the hidden Inunaki village, and like the idea of the game is to play off of that. That's not one that we're playing. But I mean they base a lot of stuff around folklore, again, with Yuki Onna and their upcoming game Teke Teke. And the next one, Ghost Train, actually deals with an online, it started online, urban legend, and it's one of my favorites. And this is their most recent game as well. And the reason I put achievement hunting is because one of my achievements was to escape like a chase, and survive a chase, and only 25.9% of people did so, whereas 60.3 people got killed. And I wasn't going to play through the whole game just to get to that chase again, when I could just do it today. So we're going to get killed. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to load up the last game here. Never apologize for killing chat. I more apologize for killing my character. There it is. Alright, sorry. Some of these games take a little bit to load up. And this will be the last one of the night. This one should take about an hour or so. So this is their newest one, the Ghost Train. And the 2 I played are from 2019. This is from a couple of months ago, 2020. But even there is a huge graphical difference. Yes, I'm sure that I want to start a new game. Even then, they've made huge leaps between... Okay, so we're playing Kensuke Tanaka, 42, he's male, he's an insurance company sales manager. Might need to turn the volume down. Okay, 724. Okay, it remembers that okay, it remembers that. Let's turn the volume down a little bit. Alright, there we go. Much better. That was getting drowned out. Alright. So, am I back in the thing? Ooh, okay. So, as you can tell, the graphics have taken a huge step up, even with, they're still going for that PlayStation 1 kind of style. But, also, a lot of these are, like, patrons. Like, they did, like, supporting ads and everything to be featured in the game. There's some time before I get on. I could use a little smoke break. Man, my throat's parched. I better get something. Also, my stomach could hurt around this time. I wouldn't want to hold it during the ride. So, we're late shift. And this is our run. We don't... I mean, a lot of, again, you can kind of argue as to what a walking simulator is, but these are walking simulator-esque. We have a shuffle. So, alright, he has to go to the bathroom. I don't know if anyone in chat has ridden a train or, like, the subway alone at night. It is pretty freaky. Dude, wash your hands. Gross. Yeah, you drink that with your unwashed hands. Oh, look at the bun bun. Lots of anime. This is why he's going to be cursed for not washing his hands. Yeah, dude, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Come on. Get out of here, and the train will be arriving shortly. I heard that music distortion, excuse you. Don't get cute with me. Look at this monkey. Oh, and the little chick. A content creator I liked actually did play this game, and I chose not to watch it because it was over an hour long at the time, and then I realized I was going to be playing this, and then I was like, well, now I'm especially not watching it. So I went into this blind yesterday completely. The other two, I actually knew what was going on. I went into this one completely blind yesterday. But yeah, as you can see, even if I do the actually no, there is no for the first time there actually is no camera option. That's right. This is one of the games where they kind of stopped doing the camera option. Now, I have to get to my favorite seat, the corner of the second coach. I love these ads. It's, I mean, it is, I mean, yes. Perfect. Cup noodles. I read that one aloud just for my mod. Yeah, cup noodle. Yeah, there she goes. I'm gonna haunt my mod with cup noodle. She's the OL that always rides the last train. I want to leave her alone, though. I'm tired. And I'm guessing she is as well. Little boo. Ew. Excuse me. Get off. You nasty thing. Didn't my stop just pass by? Or is it just my imagination? Maybe I can talk to someone to confirm it. Ma'am. Did you see what just happened? Yes, I did. But I can't bring my energy up to do anything about it. Well, good for you. That was my stop. Now I have to take the taxi home. Shall I go talk to the conductor? How nice of her. Oh, wow. You 180'd real fast there, buddy. It's obvious she's exhausted from her overtime work. It was obvious to you before, but you still decided to be a dick. I can tell by her eyes. No, please. I can't let you do that. I'll go. You can stay here and rest. Okay. Well, let me know if there's anything I can help. I can help with, I assume. Oh my god. I love the adverts. Oh, I love this demon Ronald McDonald here. Like, he's terrifying enough. Oh, you love cicadas? Good, you'll like this part. You like Higurashi? Hello, sir. So anime. Yes, I hear them. You're a jolly fellow. Escaped? Bzz. 3 escaped. How? Bzz. I'm in a hurry. Could you please move aside? Escaped? Not in a very good mood. Bzz. It's no good. He's not listening. Whatever it is, I better get what he wants. He wants 3 Higurashi, because he's got a whole caseload of them. See, now we have an inventory. We can pick up more than one. Like this one. There. I'm just gonna stick that in my pocket and move on. Brown cicada. Oh, okay, that was just the door. It depends on the cicada. Sometimes their sound is super comforting. And then other times they're just like, it's like an unruly cat. It's just like screaming, and it's like there's nothing to scream about. Please stop. You're so loud. Okay. Have you seen any cicadas? I actually have a strategy for this. I haven't really been looking because this is what I did my first time. It was easier to just go to the end and look this way. Because some of them are like you. Okay, a green cicada. Hey, excuse me. Don't want to see that thing in my periph. Also, they have a hugely different meaning to me now that I have finished the Higurashi visual novels. I see you. 2 brown cicadas and a green one. Hey guy, I found him. Oh, I finished the series shortly after you started it, so don't worry, I've been good about not spoiling it. Bzz. 3 escaped. I better get what he wants. I get the feeling that he won't move otherwise. Alright. Give you your brown cicadas. Here you go, man. Bzz. Brown ones. Not in a very good mood. Okay, well, if you are a cicada expert, actually, I can ask. What's the difference between brown and a green cicada? Hey. Huh? Do you need anything? Do I need anything? Yes, I want the train to stop on the next one, please. You forgot to stop on the previous one. Oh, is that right? I must have been spacing out. Dude, you're the conductor. I apologize for the inconvenience. We will prepare you the compensation necessary for the mishap. Please leave your contact information here. Thank you for that limb, Alo. I was wondering if, like, brown just meant that, like, if the color signified something, or if it's just like, they're just different colors sometimes. Ugh. I don't have the time and energy to complain to the railway company. I'm just relieved that it wasn't anything serious. Dude, I would complain. Get my money back, at least to cover the cab fare. I'll let it pass this time. I don't look forward to tomorrow's work. What am I doing with my life? So you find out through... Okay, so it's a little while later. You find out through some ending dialogue that we're not going to take, that his wife has been gone for a couple of years, and the police have investigated, and they've given up on it. Because when we go for the true ending, that's not going to be very clear. Like, some of his reactions are not going to be very clear. So, I'm explaining that now. Someone on the Steam forums, actually in the guides, put up all of the extra dialogue, and if you call the police, they talk about how they have been searching for your wife or the main character's wife, Kensuke's wife, for 2 years now. And they've kind of given up on it. I mean, and him calling, like, they just kind of ramble on, and it's kind of a joke. So, like, they don't treat his call very seriously, because I suppose he called quite a bit. Very distraught. His wife literally vanished. They never found a body or anything. I think there may have been a better way for us to find that out as well, because if you... I mean, you're essentially told how to get the good ending. So, I think there could have been a better way for them to incorporate that into the story. Because if you don't call the like if you don't call the extra places and like get all the extra dialogue and everything, you don't quite understand like why he's reacting the way he's reacting at the end. Because obviously his wife is brought up. Yeah, I see you flickering. Don't get cute. So I think something could have been incorporated. Like he could have a conversation with somebody on the train, or, you know, he could, like, what am I doing with my life? Like I've kind of been in shambles since, you know, my wife went missing, you know, something like that. That's more expository, but you know what I mean. I think there could have been something. Because it does make it kind of clunky. They are continuing to improve. Again, this is like the third or fourth time I've covered it. Oh, now that billboard and that light are off. When I first came into this game yesterday... Sorry, the train's loud, obviously. When I first came into this game yesterday, I went, oh my goodness. Like, I was just very much in awe at how awesome the graphics had improved. Even from their last one, Missing Children. So they still kind of have the PS1 vibe to it, but it's a lot crisper. I mean, to me, it's a very visually impressive game to look at. Especially with how many titles they've pumped out this year alone. She's here again. I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that's comforted by her always being there. Maybe I should talk to her. Alright. Hey. Typically, I wouldn't have the space to talk to anyone. But I feel that the ice between us has broken. I guess it's thanks to last night's incident. Hey. Did you make it home safe last night? Yeah, unfortunately. Why? If it's okay with me, I'm all ears. Thank you. But there's nothing to vent about at this point. It's too late. I don't think there's anything late about talking to someone about their struggles. No! It's too late! I'm sorry. It's been tough. And I'd rather not talk about it. Please forgive me. Okay. Well, I'm sure you've seen me many times already, but I'm usually on this train at this time. So, okay. I'll keep in mind. Or I'll keep that in mind. Alright. She's not doing okay. And if you were curious, you literally can't. Hello, small child. What the hell? What's a little girl doing here? A kid shouldn't be roaming around the train this late. Daddy? I'm not your father. Yeah, you look different. Now, you better go back to your dad. Oh, about that. I can't remember where Daddy is. I was chasing a cicada I saw in the window. And now I'm too scared to go back alone. Mister, could you please come with me to find Daddy? Either way, I can't let a kid be lost here alone. I guess I have no choice. Sure. Yay! Thank you, mister. Hey, have you seen this girl's father? I didn't know you were a father. No, I'm not. She's not my daughter. Is she related to you in any way? No. Why is she making that face? Because it's real sketch, dude. What does that make you then? I'm just a stranger. She mistook me for her father. She wants me to come with her to find him. Okay, I was concerned. What? No, I would never. Well, you're a stranger to her. She doesn't know. Oh, child is at the door. Alright, child. Excuse me. Hey. Hey. Hey, buddy. Oh, I have to talk to her to get her to follow me. Hey, mister? What is it? There's something I need to tell you. What is it? Well, I think I'd forgotten how my dad looks like. How is that even possible? I think it's because he looks like any middle-aged guy. That's why I thought you were my daddy. I think the only way is to talk to the ones that look like my dad. Okay. Hey. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you. Do you happen to know this girl? What? Don't know. Okay. Guess we just hit something on the track. Hey, bro. Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you. Do you happen to know this girl? No. Why? Looking for her parents? Yeah, she said she's here with her father. You are clipping into the seat, sir. Are you okay? It's rare for such a young kid to be here alone. What's wrong with people these days? Well, good luck to you. Sir, Alright. I'm just gonna leave you with your problems. Oh, big dude. Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you. Do you happen to know this girl? No, I don't. I thought you were her father. I saw her sleeping next to you the whole time. This is the strangest thing I've seen in a while. There's nothing funny about it, asshole. You think I'm doing this because I want to? I would be more concerned by the statement that she was sleeping next to me for God knows how long. Whoa. Fishman. Literal mermaids. Next time someone asks what a mermaid looks like, show them this. God, I'm sorry. I love the adverts. A lot of these were done by patrons. Excuse me. Do you know this girl? No. And don't talk to me. Wow. That can't be. Her father isn't even on the train. Could it be that he left her alone here? Hey, 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 hey. Hey, Fishman. Sounds like someone's snoring or groaning in between those cars, which is a little weird. Didn't notice that when I played it yesterday. I don't usually play these with my headphones on unless I'm streaming. Cup noodles. Just to haunt my mod some more. Look, I saw you go in there, you little brat. Where did she go? Buy cup noodles. Hey! Up. Yeah, those are, Higurashi, alright. Sorry. I honestly forgot that happened. Huh? Just this T-posing guy falling on you. That's my stop. What was all that? I'm probably too stressed. I can't even tell from dream to reality sometimes. Oh my god, I just... Cat cafe. Look at those eyes. Alright, let's do our usual. You need to wait a minute for the indicator to pop up. Alright. Hey. We're gonna get the fuck out. Yeah, we're gonna get the fuck out. That was weird. And hope he isn't hanging around. Alright, I see you getting cute again, Light. Oh, it actually finally popped, though. Be safe, Hollow. I wonder if they do have smoking areas. It wouldn't surprise me if they do. Chilla's Art's pretty accurate when it comes to things like that. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm so enchanted by... I also love the Jesus one. I love the ads. Cup noodles. Oh. She's not here tonight. That's concerning, actually. Three different roles. Huh? Alright. Guess I'll go sit somewhere else. You do not need to play 15 any more times, at least not in the near future. Give it like a year. Oh. That's not good. What's going on? A blackout? There's something wrong with this train. Yeah, no shit. What time is it? 2 a.m.? It's way past the usual arrival time. I have to talk to the conductor. I really like the lighting in this. Oh, we get numbers this time. I really like the lighting in this sequence. I think it's pretty nifty. Hey, Ronald. This looks like something from a, First off, I love that pigeon and a top hat and bow tie. This looks like something you would see in, like, a pixel game. I mean, it's obviously showing that it's a card game, but I dig the design. Or by, almost a little bit, animation by Demon Dice, a little bit, which if you have not seen Demon Dice's animations, Katie introduced me to them. And hey Merman, she does awesome stuff. Katie found her PV for the song Jewel Box, and it is excellent. And she showed me a video that Demon Dice sang and animated today, called Alcatraz, and it's really good. Oh, bollocks. Mr. Jewelbox. Yeah, anyone who's a creator of anything will relate to Mr. Jewelbox. Hello, ma'am. What's wrong? What's wrong? Can't you see that the train is acting weird? I tried the conductor room, but the door is locked. How can you stay so calm? What do you hear? Huh? What? I can help you only by when you hear the voices of the natural world, even in the midst of crisis. So please, tell me. Okay, so this is actually a randomized puzzle. Yeah, last time I played, there were cicadas in this car. So this is a randomized puzzle. If you get the chance, Trillium, send me the link and I'll pass it on to her. Because Katie likes to cook, so that cookbook will be in great hands with her. Okay. Oh, okay, she found it. Never mind. Of course, you would immediately run to Google. one. Okay, car 1 is a festival. Car 2 is a forest. There are birds. Okay, car 3 is the waves, so the ocean. Merman, what is car 4? The temple. Okay, the temple bell. And then car 5 would be the Higurashi then. Okay. So, backwards, it's Higurashi, temple, the ocean, birds, and a festival. Okay, so a festival is first. Okay, which, in the order which you hear them, what do you hear? Okay, so a summer festival first. And then a forest. And then a seaside. A temple bell. And cicadas. The other world says you indeed hear the voices of the natural world. The other world has allowed me to call the helper. It should be here any second. When you talk to the helper, the train should come to a halt. Oh, hey, lights are back on. Hello, ma'am. Are you the helper? What are you talking about? Who are you? Wait a second. I know you. You were one of the troublemakers at my high school. Ah, you don't change. Mr. Shimizu, how nostalgic. He's the man who saved me from dropping out. Without him, I wouldn't be in such a position in my company today. But, Mr. Shimizu, why are you out this late? Well, it's a hobby of mine to get on the last train ride before going to bed. Weirdo, he never changes. However, now's not the time for a reunion. Sir, this train isn't stopping for hours. Or hasn't stopped for hours. And I'm afraid this train will never come to a stop. Is there anything I can do? Ah, I understand. Okay, listen carefully, kid. You must get off the train before the train reaches the end. My destination is at the end, and trust me, you do not want to go there. There are 3 stops where you can get off at. However, you must choose the right one. There will be an announcement melody played on every stop. When you hear the same sound as the sound you heard at your home station, get off. Otherwise, I won't be able to help you later. So be careful, young one. So yeah, the random chime that happened every time we got off the train, hope you all remember that. No. Well. No. If you guys can guess what this is like, what this is leading up to, I will be very impressed. The kind of urban legend that they're leading up to, I will be incredibly impressed. No. Yes. Unless you're talking about Princess Mononoke? No, I have not. Alright, so we've skipped time and forward a bit. We're into August. And we're on this side. Hey, man. Nothing? Alright. Huh? Looks like your card isn't readable. That's strange. It was working yesterday. Can you let me go this time? I don't want to miss my ride. Hold it right there. Don't you even try to get past. If your card isn't working, you better get the ticket. Can't you help me get a new card, though? No can do. You have to do that during the day. I can't help you at this time. Alright, well... Oh, it's a horror series. No, I have not. This is such a real creepy vibe. Just being alone in any giant... public space. Like airports, subways, like I've been in those late at night and they are genuinely creepy. It's very unnerving. No, it is not based on that. It's based on an urban legend that came from the internet. So, kind of like Slender Man almost, except not quite at all. But like in the same way that Slender Man was born on the internet, so was this urban myth. Okay, well, screw you too, buddy. I just gotta wait until you left. Okay, let's go. I mean, I'll set the record straight. I don't mind Slender Man. I know it was kind of done to death, but there's some really good series out there. Alright. Oh, good. The lights are futzing out over here this time. Cool. Oh, jeez. As that noise started to get louder, my cat just put her paws up on my leg, and that actually, startled me. thank God. Please help before it gets here. Oh, alright. Alright, dude. You bolted onto that train. Okay, your heart stopped pounding. And she's not here again. I don't like the implications of her being missing. Let's just sit in our spot. You've got to be kidding me. Not stopping again? This isn't funny anymore. This is why you pick a fight with the train company. No conductor should just be like, oh, I kind of spaced out. Oh, good. There's no conductor to get mad at. Try operating the train? I mean, sure. It's got to be an emergency brake. The train doesn't respond to anything I'm pressing. Huh? There's a keyhole. Looks like I need a key to operate it. Okay. Alright, well, we're locked in here. And it sounds like we need to be stopping. Oh! Yeah, there's blood on the window. Oh, good. Good, we're in hell. Hello. Aha. I have the box of cicadas. So, like every other time, there's something in every car. The kid's pinwheel. Oh, hello. We are getting close to where you can get killed, Mr. Shimizu's cane. So I hope it doesn't set us too far back. A beer bottle. Yes. Can I help you? And a woman's shoe. Okay, so Mr. Shimizu had the cane. I can't put it... Do you mind? Nudge, nudge. On the opposite seat. Yes. What are you nudging me for? What are you nudging me for? I'm nearly at the end of my game. It's a good thing I wasn't trying to go for survive, because I have a feeling this fuzzy little gremlin would make sure I wouldn't. Whoop. The dad and the kid. Okay, so my windmill. I actually didn't even see what the enemy looked like. I just I did what was advised, and that was as soon as you hear noises, turn and run. Because whatever is chasing you is obviously going to be faster than this guy. Here's the cicada guy. Oh, right, on the opposite seat. I'm guessing we're gonna see our friendly lady. Yep. So this last one is the dude holding the beer. And all of our adverts are gone. Oh good, the train noises have stopped. Can I? Hang on. Okay, I can run backwards. I'm gonna run backwards to see if I can get a look. Here's the achievement hunting part. Yes, hello. Okay. Now you're pretty much supposed to turn and just book it and not look back. Whoa! Oh, so it's... Oh, it's like a teke teke. This is the girl we hit. This is like a teke teke. Oh, she's got a scythe! Cool, achievement unlocked, dead. Thanks for helping me 100% that, guys. Oh, sweet, it drops me off where I need to be. If you guys haven't heard of this story, I'll get into it more after the game. I love the story of Kisaragi Station. Looks like you made it. This isn't the place for you. You're gonna need a ride home. But I don't have a home. Don't worry. Just call home now. They should know where to pick you up. Call them now before you get lost in the tracks. Gonna need a ride home. Call home. Alright, thanks, Mr. Shimizu. So, Kisaragi Station is an urban legend that originated on 2chan, with the story of a girl, Hasumi, I believe her name was, maybe? I think that was her name. Posting to 2chan about how she had missed her stop, and she got off at this stop called Kisaragi Station, and she tried calling like a bunch of people, like her parents and the station master and everything, and no one like knew where she was, so she started following the train tracks, I think it was, and she started hearing this weird like primal drum beat. Somewhere along the line of the story, she gets in a car, like this guy picks her up, she tells him where she's headed, and she's still talking to these guys on 2chan, because she's like, I just need somebody there. And there's two of them. And they're giving her advice on what to do. And the guy starts acting like really sketchy. So after a while, she gets like, she jumps out of the, she said she's like, her battery's dying and she's gonna make a jump for it or something like that. Or she's walking along the tracks and like she hears like the drums getting louder or something like that, and she's like, oh, I can see people, my phone battery's dying. She's never heard from again. And Kisaragi Station is not on any map. It's a really cool urban legend, and I mean, it escalated from there. Like, people just loved it so much, they really like turned it into its own urban legend. I heard it from Lazy Masquerade as part of like a small story compilation he had. So he had another reader and Rainbot as the female voice, like himself and the other reader as the two guys on 2chan, and Rainbot as the girl. But people do readings of it a lot. So yeah, it's creepy to hear, like, voiced out. I just really like the story. Something about it just really, like, captured me. This phone booth only accepts 10 and 100 yen coins. I have a 10 yen and a 50 yen coin. Seems like I've only got one chance. Okay. So if you do the police, the train station, the taxi, the friend, the boss, or the coworker, the conversation gets cut off, or they think, you know, you're joking at some point and you just wander the tracks. I don't quite sure like what the ending is from there, but it's a bad end. Home is the true ending. Like Mr. Shimizu told us, call home. I know that no one would answer, but I have to follow what Mr. Shimizu told me. Yes? Hello? What? I can't believe someone answered. Who could it be? Hello? Who is this? This voice. I know this voice. There's no doubt about it. It's my wife. How could this be? I called this number many times, hoping that someone would answer. This is what I mean by if you didn't know the backstory, you'd kind of be like, what the hell? But no one ever would. Excuse me? I should hurry. I only got a few seconds till my minute is up. Eiko, when did you come home? I've been looking for you ever since you left. It's hard holding back my tears. However, now is not the time. Kensuke, where are you? Kisaragi. I'm at Kisaragi. Kisaragi Station? No, don't tell me. What do you mean? What did I do? So, you too. I know exactly where you are. Stay right there. I'll be there soon. Let me out. So if people get lost when they go to Kisaragi, I think it's safe to say Mr. Shimizu doesn't actually go home. No, this is what happens. You always wander the tracks at Kisaragi Station. See, there's a car. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was my wife's car. She hasn't changed. I took her into my arms and cried. I'm glad, she whispered, patting my back. I held her hand and got into the car. You're here too early, she said as we were driving. I didn't know what she meant by that, but that didn't matter. All that mattered was that I got to see her again. We didn't have much of a conversation during the ride. There was so much to ask, yet there wasn't much to be said. I was happy enough to have her presence next to me, and soon we arrived at my place. She dropped me off and unlocked the door to my apartment, and just as I looked back, excited to invite her in, she was gone, without making a single sound. She had disappeared. Today, I live a normal life as a salaryman again, wondering every night if I'll be able to meet my wife again. That was the ghost train. So it's safe to say that Eiko was probably on a train somewhere and the train didn't stop and she was waiting for the last stop and it stopped at Kisaragi Station and she was lost. She was probably coming home or something like that. She was lost at Kisaragi Station because when you're lost, you never return. It is very bittersweet. I was like, I played this and I was like, okay, ghost train, cool. And then like at the very end, like when I saw it was Kisaragi, I was like, oh, it's Kisaragi Station. I got really excited. I highly do recommend checking out the original urban legend from 2chan, or the original story from 2chan, I should say. And as you can see, they've had credits for a little while now, but again, I did a 2019 to 2020 jump, from an earlier game of Chilla's art to like the most recent ones. But of the ones that I've played, you like that one? Good, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed these. I don't know if Gab's name already passed, but you can see Gab Smolder. Yep, there she is, Gab Smolders. She's a pretty chill content creator. Their portfolio is huge. Late 2019, early 2020, they've just been banging out really good games. I don't know if they have more on their Patreon, obviously, because like I said, everyone that I wanted to support on Patreon, I just cannot right now. And I've been meaning to for years. It's not just due to the current situation. It's just, I wasn't making as much as I would like to support people on Patreon, even for like $2 a month. Because that's still $24 out the window for one creator a year, and that's $24 I can use for something else, Like, not to be mean, but that's kind of how it is. So now you guys have helped me get all the chivos. Get killed by the girl, which a majority of people got. Her design was pretty cool. She seemed like she was a teke teke. I like that she had a scythe. But yeah, I recommend checking out the original Kisaragi Station. Because again, that was just something that like really appealed to me. And if you liked what you saw, again, these were just personally my 3 favorites. But again, they have Okairi, which we played, Inunaki Tunnel, Akamanto, Stigmatized Property, which we played, and then this year, Yuki Onna, The Convenience Store, Onryo, The Missing Children, and The Ghost Train. So they've been knocking them out. And upcoming, they have 3 titles, Hanako, Jimu, and Teki Teke. They're working on stuff. So if, like me, you can't really afford to support them on Patreon, they do have a Twitter. You can follow them on Twitter. They translate their tweets the best they can. Just follow them on Steam. from Okayuri onwards, their prices have dropped to underneath $5 a game. So they are definitely a dev worth supporting. I think they're very interesting. I always like, I especially like that they are two Japanese devs taking on Japanese horror and urban legends and stuff like that. And from places that actually exist, like I was talking about Inunaki Tunnel, that's something that actually does exist. So yeah, it's they're a very interesting dev. But like I said, I didn't want to do them first because I really like Mr. Zemansky, and his portfolio is not as large. He has about 5-ish games, and I can literally do all of them. And I may in the future, like I said, do Moonsliver and the Music Machine. Yeah. So that was Chilla's art. If you liked any of what you saw, go ahead and get the bad end on Stigmatized Property. You know, like buy some of their other games, support them, you know, like read what it's about, give them a shot. They have cheap games for really tight horror experiences. And it's pretty awesome. They're definitely a good dev to support. So those of you on stream, hang in there. I've got something to talk about, but for those of you watching on YouTube, take it easy.